What you are about to see is not opinion, but documented accounts revealing information so compelling, it's likely to change the way you see the world forever. Now, I was going to go a different direction with this particular video. It's stuff that's very important for us to see and analyze as it is applicable to the reality that we are currently living. Yeah, brace yourself. This is going to be a kind of a heavy subject matter. I ran into this clip and it said, I asked AI, if you were Satan, how would you carry out your agenda? Its response, let's just be honest, it's going to haunt you. Attention to what the responses are, because it's extremely important information. The AI bot responded with, I wouldn't waste my time trying to get you to worship me. No, I'd just convince you not to worship God at all. I'd tell you truth is relative. Your truth is my truth. Until nobody knows which way is up. I'd whisper, as long as you're happy, it's right. I'd keep you busy, too busy for prayer, too busy for church, too busy to speak eternal questions. I'd fill your hands with a phone so you'd never have time to fold them into prayer. I'd break families, get father's absence, marriage is bitter, kids confused. If I can fracture the home, I can fracture. I'd divide the church, petty arguments, comparison, offense, celebrity culture. If I can get Christians fighting each other, they'll never fight me. I desensitize you. I'll glamorize sin in movies, normalize in music, laugh at it in comedy, and celebrate it in culture until what once shocked you now entertains you. I'd attack your identity. I'd make you question who you are, where you belong, and whether you matter. I'd whisper shame so loud you can't hear God's voice of love. And through it all, I wouldn't even try to prove I exist. My greatest trick is to convince you that I'm not real. Because if you don't believe me, and I'm not real, you'll never resist. Look at the award ceremonies and mainstream music today and just kind of the whole vibe that's being pushed out, where darker ritual-like imagery is being rebranded as artistic expression. I mean, have you seen this stuff? Slowly desensitizing people over time. This is a plan that's being carried out. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you what to believe here. Just give me a second. Just bear with me. Let me walk you through this stuff. I advise that you just stay with this content for a second because it is very compelling information and you can form your own opinions, but it's going to be hard for you not to draw this conclusion, I promise. So stay with me. These are different celebrities. This is not a few people. Like, not a few people at all. Countless people that have got into contracts with these music industries say the same things. So I'm not going to say anything about it. I just want you to listen to what they say.
I'm not even caring. I'm trying to where the dotted lines at so I can sign. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So then my homeboy grabbed it. He like, hold on, let me just, before you sign, bro, let me just look through it real quick, bro. Bro, he like, it's like he knew where the page was or something. He was just flipping, bro. He like, stop. He was like, bro, you ain't read this? I said, read what? The thing said you could not say the name, like literally in verbatim, it said you could not say the name Jesus. It didn't say God.
Wow.
It said
not say the name Jesus.
You cannot say the name Jesus. I forgot what else it said, but it said like or else. Like, it's like it was like a threat in there or something. But they'll basically say like they know your family, where they live at. They know who your family is. It's stuff that's in those like dotted lines that we will not read. But it's literally them saying like, in my terminology, if you say the name Jesus, you're gonna die, or something gonna happen to you.
These rappers are highly influential at this moment. You know, it's a movement. We're looking at smaller creators these days because, you know, times have changed. I'm gonna say it's probably pretty credible. Anyway, you decide.
No, you don't, bro. Like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals.
Yeah, demonic rituals. That's it's a very common thing. I mean, hey, I don't want to give anybody bad ideas. You want to be rich? You want to be rich tomorrow? In a minute, tomorrow. He will give it to you, but it comes at a high price for sure. I would never mess with something like that. But this is what these people are talking about. You'll hear it time and time again. All of them saying it is not worth it at all.
Appreciation. I'm like, what? I'm like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? He giving me a list of people who all did. I'm gonna keep it PG, and you'll get whatever you want. Tell them what you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody, and all you gotta let them do is do what they want to do to you just for a night. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, hell no, I'm playing. So I'm still not trying to believe this. Now, while they doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though. I don't got no service. The people who booked me left after they leave. I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me. I get in the car with him and we spent all this money to get you up here. This face change, gang. In front of me. You didn't know how to get out the car. I would have been got out the car. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you gotta push to get up out of there.
Gotcha.
Now he backing into somebody's driveway. He smack a mailbox. Now he hit the button and he get up out of there. I see the button. I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I run up to him. I'm like, hey bro, I'm getting back your truck. He looking at me like, bro, damn, no. I look at him. I'm like, bro, just let me get in the back of your truck. Bro, like, please just take me down to the bottom. Please just take me down to the bottom. It was God. He took me down to the bottom. And I called an Uber and I just left. And the people on camera, you ain't got to believe me. I don't care. I'm not lying. I really saw this.
It's absolute satanic. Some guy comes from America, or he is a rapper, or he's a celebrity. The whole world goes and they pay big money just to see and watch nonsense, evilness. Hollywood was established for one thing: humanity, and take it away from God. Believe me, believe me, believe me.
It's a mind industry that I chose to be a part of. So it's like I accept that I run with it, but don't be a dominant at the same time. You gotta understand they're using me as entertainment, and this shit becomes self-destruction too. Cause I ain't no entertainer. You know, some shit can be spoke on. Why? But that shit is to be continued.
Is in terms of like every time it's
paid to rap about that stuff, they actually pay us more when we rap about more ignorant stuff. So
I was flooded with millions of dollars from the time I was 16, and I woke up one morning and I was like, damn, they got me. Man, look at the shit I spoke about, look at the shit I put in these people's ears. Man, I feel very wrong about a lot of things. How many lives I actually am responsible for when it comes to my music.
This is a clip of Michael Jackson also discussing how a chorus, take people over.
Singers, when they sing songs, it's like a mantra. When you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
These weird feelings lately, and that's kind of why
This is Cardi B talking.
Didn't want to do this song, Shake It, or like any drill songs, because it's like these songs are activating like these demons that I killed. I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like, I just want to be a mother.
If you notice, you could tell she actually was getting emotional at the end of that one. I mean, it's hard not to believe it.
And it's your favorite artist, you most definitely should understand who it is that you're looking into or listening to. All these different things that people don't know, frequency channelings and different.
I mean, this is just said over and over.
People don't know frequency channelings and things like that. So you never know who you're f***ing with unless you fully dwell into them as a person.
Hi, I just want to rock.
I'm just going to pause right here. Just take notice that he's also wearing the serpent right here around his neck. I guarantee that's by no mistake.
It's in my brain. Do you know that? It's living rent free. I can't get it out.
yeah, it's hypnosis.
David would make sounds. He would make sounds that would make demons leave Saul. Yes. He would produce, and he wasn't singing on them. He would just play the sound. And the demons that used to possess and harass Saul would depart from him. So that means that there's a sound that draws spirit. There is a sound repels spirit.
The world knew is the power of sound and cymatics in our own bodies. To understand this universe, you must understand frequency and vibrations. Why do you think they worked so hard to remove all the bells from the old world? Here's an example of what frequency and vibrations can do to our bodies.
Cymatic plates give the ability to visualize sound and frequency. Every frequency has its own geometric pattern. Frequency, energy, and vibration is what molds the physical world around us. The ancients had a deep understanding of this and reflected geometry within their building. Churches were never a thing. These buildings were not used for worship, instead used for healing with frequency and sound. Because your body is 80% water, the frequency produced by the organs within these cathedrals would heal the people in the building. They were called organs because they healed your organs.
With all that in mind, I want to draw attention to something that's very interesting. Everything in the universe, all the way down to the atomic level, is vibrating at a certain frequency. Everything's on vibrations. And according to science, the Earth is vibrating at a certain hertz frequency. The universe is tuned to 432 hertz frequency. And before 1938, music was tuned to that frequency on the solfeggio scale, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, that octave scale from the A note. Well, in the 1930s, the Rockefeller family was part of that group, and I'll include a clip here in a second of talking about it, has now changed that tuning to a 440 hertz frequency.
1938, there was a gentleman named Harold Burroughs Meyer, and he was a theatrical designer and a sound engineer. And he began developing techniques that would control the emotional response of audiences and to create mass hysteria. And so from there, you have this Rockefeller-Rothschild alliance. What they were doing is not only were they looking at ways to steer the masses, but they wanted to change the standard tuning of A to 440 hertz. So in 1939, they began funding Joseph Goebbels, who was the Nazi propagandist. And at that time, Joseph Goebbels, he wanted to change the standard tuning of A. And so he organized a meeting in London to do that. And they didn't invite any of the French musicians because they were opposed to 440 hertz. And then the organizers of the conference, they interviewed musicians, the instrument makers, the physicists, and then also the sound engineers. And if any of those people were against 440 hertz, then they weren't invited to the conference. So it was all controlled. And as a result, it's not surprising that the standard tuning of A was changed to 440 hertz. And that happened June 1939, just months before World War II broke out. And the timing of that is no coincidence because 440 hertz is a destructive frequency, and that it can retrain our thoughts towards disharmony, disruption, and disunity.
At our society, there's a lot of disunity going on, a lot of disharmony going on, and a lot of destruction going on. And so when you're listening to all your music practically in a static, which would be the disruptive tuning of 440 hertz, so artists were not able to record records outside that tuning. Just as an interesting little fact as we punch along.
Demons are conjured a lot of times to create hit records. Yeah. A lot of these top executives are witches and warlocks, and they do a lot of strange things behind closed doors to conjure up these hit records.
Zena LaVey, who is Antoine LaVey's daughter, the founder of the Church of Satan, I believe in the 1960s or 70s.
Music, we make music for a purpose. It's not just background music, or it's not just, fluffy, light stuff.
This is not elevator satanic. It's ritualistic music. It is music that by even the act of listening to it, you are participating in a satanic ritual.
By listening to, so if I put this on and listen to it, I'm participating. But you're a listener. I'm asking you, how does it make you feel?
It's very stirring. It's very emotionally charged. You can't listen to this music and say you don't feel something, because you do.
I've been in rooms at the top of the top, which albums are prayed over demonically. Music is prayed over demonically. That goes out to the world, goes out to the radio stations, goes out to the public. And when you see that stuff and know that stuff, it's frightening.
What do you mean by that, Shane? Prayed over demonically?
Rituals, ceremonies to give light to the devil.
I'd like to ask you a couple questions. I said, I already know the answers, but I've been gone for 5 years. I'd like to know if certain things are still the way they were when I left. I said, do they still take the master to the temple room? Dave said, yeah. I said, do they still have the coven conjure demons into the master? He said, of course. I said, now, I gotta know something. What's the main reason for rock music? He says, the same as when you were in, so that we can play spells on people that we couldn't cast spells upon. The master is a tape about as big as the top of this podium that looks like an overgrown 8-track that the album is cut on and is placed in a machine that produces and presses the records and the 8-tracks and cassettes that you buy. After it's been recorded, it's taken in. This is why a master is cut months in advance before it's released. On the full moon, it's taken in to a temple room about the size of this auditorium that is in every one of the major music companies. Behind locked doors up in the executive office. And it's placed on an altar, setting in the north of the room, and a pentagram engraved in the floor. And 13 hand-chosen witches and wizards and a coven come in and conjure a principality or a power up, usually Regia or something like that, and order him to tell the demons under him to follow every record and every tape coming off of that master.
Okay, so this guy's actually Trippie Redd. We're going to start right there. Look at the, the horns. I mean, he is really freaking showcasing the darkness here.
The rapper's choice of symbols and appearance are always dark and sketchy. Fans believe that you can tell he's demonic merely by looking at him. Trippie Redd has constantly portrayed himself as a demon and has been described as the most demonic rapper.
Wow.
With the rapper's consistent use of the one-eye symbol and his choice of tattoos,
Oh, okay, so this is the guy that
screams demonic.
Okay, this is the guy that came up with the 6-7 thing. So you think your kids are safe? Well, no. He's found a way to get to them too. Like, I can't even believe he's going to say, I'm not even going to say it. I'm letting him say it. I don't even want to say it in my house right now. It comes from a source, and the source will later tell you what he's into. Let's just keep going on. And your children are using his references. That is a instrument of the devil. Getting to your children.
And that became this whole 6-7 thing, right? But this Skrilla artist, he's very open about his practices of what he does with Santeria. He talks about some of these acts that he does. It's easy to write off the idea of 6-7 and say, it's just numbers. Don't get all uptight. I think we need to understand the person who is responsible for setting an entire culture ablaze with this chant.
Here he is, talking about it.
You can put bad spirits on people.
You can put a person's name.
What religion exactly do you represent?
I'm a Santo. I do Palo. I'm a Santo.
What's that mean exactly?
Like, all that sacrificing goats and all that. That's not just for like that's real life.
You sacrificed a goat.
You seen that, bro? That's real life, bro.
Really?
I sacrifice goats, chickens, mice. Like I do for certain. Though, like I'm not allowed to explain it how you want me to explain it.
You could put bad spirits on people too. Like you could put a person's name and like their birthday and shit like that inside the. You could put them inside the agun pot. Put somebody's name in your shoe and keep it or in the bottom of your sock or in your shoe, like bad shit happens.
Talking about artists,
all with to flash certain images, speak in codes, and slowly guide listeners toward new beliefs without anyone noticing. Every time a new star hits it big, the theory pops up. Who controls them? What deal did they make? Even big shows like halftime performances or awards nights get picked apart.
In a now deleted tweet right before a performance where the lead artist wore devil horns as he performed.
We are ready to worship. So just what were they worshiping? Well, the seductive display of worshipers bowed down to Smith while he displayed himself in a top hat with devil horns.
There's 1,000 reasons this is really bad, right? Pay attention to the lyrics.
I
swear these artists worship the devil. You see the symbols in their videos, it's not accidental. They sold their souls to be famous, it's not a debt they can settle. Just check the lyrics, you can hear it on every instrumental. These award shows aren't the...
Pay attention to this here. This is really wild. So this is total satanic ritual right here.
About the music or visuals, they're designed to be identical to satanic rituals. You buy tickets to concerts, you're not aware they're performing. Black mass and the fans, they're part of the ceremony. The industry been infected, Illuminati.
Here's another view of the...
On in the year, Sam Smith quite literally shocked the world with one of the most demonic performances we have ever seen on live television. Performing his song
really
Unholy, it looks like he tried to give us a depiction of what hell looks like. With him and devil horns, the whole set on fire, women
this just
in
happened
cages.
just a couple weeks
it just
ago.
doesn't get any more than that. Next, we have Lil Uzi Vert at Rolling Loud, where he even wore a satanic belt with pentagrams on it, is playing these gory murder scenes in the background of whatever the heck that movie was. And to top that all off, he debuted his song where he said he made a city girl believe in Satan. And whenever The Weeknd went on tour this year, there was always a common theme. His dancers would be dressed in these hooded gowns, dancing around this demonic looking robot thing. And whenever that figure wasn't there, they would be dressed up in red, doing it under the moon. People who attended these concerts just said that there was a very dark vibe.
Bizarre.
And not to mention, he literally flashed the word Satan at one of his concerts.
What I'm about to show you is another performance for another big event that people should up to. I don't particularly know which it is, but if you see, there are thousands of people here. When Moses came down from Mount Sinai, the Jews had melted their gold down and created a golden calf and were worshiping the golden calf.
And then a big crowd of people got down on their knees and began to worship this bull.
This is freaking creepy and crazy. Can you believe that?
What kind of dark energy is going on during Lana Del Rey's concert showed us the pictures that he took. When this man was at this concert I was talking about, he said that every single picture he tried to take, the faces of all the dancers and Lana Del Rey was very distorted. Now I take this with a grain of salt because he was probably sitting far and that's just the way cameras work sometimes. But he said overall the vibes were weird. He said there was someone in the crowd screaming at Lana for her to kill. I mean, we all remember what happened in Mexico. It looked like a wave of energy just knocked everyone over extremely fast. A lot of people said it was a domino effect, but I mean, I don't know how people just fall that fast all of a sudden.
Minaj had a mock exorcism performed on her at the 2014 Grammys. Katy Perry performed Dark Horse with a performance of what appeared to be a witch's Sabbath.
This is a disturbing concert moment by Lil Uzi.
The rapper also released the track titled 444 plus 222, which equals the biblical number of the beast 666. He's known for posting photos of upside down crosses on his Instagram page.
Before everybody starts screaming and saying, oh, like I told y'all earlier, you motherfuckers enter the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all motherfuckers going to hell. Right with me.
He also added,
let's get it. Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song a million times and you didn't even know.
Uzi responded by posting a picture on Instagram of a smiley face and an upside down cross and the number 666, tagging Offset in it. The Migos rapper replied to the post, writing, I will pray for you, my brother. Lil Nas X, after gaining initial fame with the hit song Old Town Road, he's gone on to release other songs which indicate the Georgian rapper's apparent interest in Satanism. He also posted pictures on social media that show him wearing a pentagram necklace and standing in front of a statue of Baphomet, a figure associated with Satanism. Shortly after the video's release, New York-based art collective Mischief collaborated with Lil Nas X to make 666 pairs of unofficial Nike Air Max 97s. The shoes, which cost $1,018 each, a reference to the Bible verse Luke 10:18, are Satan-themed and allegedly feature a drop of human blood.
How often do you still battle with depression?
Oh, I'm always depressed, all the time. I have to constantly bring myself out of it.
Most wealthy people are just broken. They're really sad people. I can confirm this. Even when I had a giant multi-million-dollar house, I had my dream car, so to say I had a $400,000 Aventador. I was not a very happy person.
To stop, because I had everything, and I was absolutely broken inside.
Have all this stuff doesn't mean you're happy.
No matter how many clothes I bought, no matter how many houses we had, my life was empty. It's like I had a hole inside me.
I struggled with happiness
there's times where I feel really happy, but at that time, I also know this is temporary.
I was thinking about how the way that I was gonna die was I was gonna do it.
As a Beatle, we made it, and there was nothing to do. We had money, we had fame, and there was no...
The world's eyes came on you, and people were wondering, like, you know, like, well, how could you be sad when all of this opportunities come to you? And, you know, really, it's like, the fact that you're overstimulated, it's like you have so much of these things, but they really don't equal out to emotional support. Experience what it's like to be rich and famous just so you can realize that it means nothing.
When I was on top of the world, it became more and more and more depressed until it was like suicidal thought.
And I know tons of people who I grew up with in the Silicon Valley boom who have hundreds of millions of dollars in their bank account and are as miserable and as lonely and as broken as you'll ever see.
You could go to 16-year-old Rainn Wilson, like, what's your dream? Live in New York City, be paid to be an actor, have cool friends, have a beautiful girlfriend, live in a loft, and have a van, and like collaborate artistically with really cool people. I mean, I was living my dream and I was miserable. I was just like, what the f is going on? Like, why am I waking up at 3 a.m. just like staring at the wall? Why am I considering suicide? Like, what? How? This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm living my dream. This is what you wanted. That started a long, slow process of me reinvestigating faith, God.
Sports. And I tried to take myself out in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was going to hell. I was winning Super Bowls, playing in World Series, doing my thing, but had no peace, no joy. You could sleep in the bed with 2 and 3 women and nobody's satisfied. You got 100 suits, you can't cover up the pain. You got 300, 400, 500 pairs of shoes, you can't take a step in the right direction. You got 9 to 10 cars in the driveway, you ain't going nowhere. You got a 15,000 square foot house, but you ain't got a home.
Courage acknowledged that living for pleasure and mass consumption left him empty and spiritually bankrupt.
The system requires us to be as selfish little consumerist pods. Once we go, oh, I ain't that bothered about that, it's easier for me because I've been famous now, I know that's boring. I've been rich now, I know that's boring. I fuck loads of people now, I know that's boring. I took loads of drugs now, no, that's boring. So all that's left is spiritual enlightenment. All that's left is spiritual enlightenment. That's all that's left.
Which is like the life of the rich, the famous, the money. Y'all come to these same conclusions that, you know, it's empty, right? So leaving on that note, I just wanted to also put into perspective that all the heavy content, the stuff that we've been watching, this is a very comforting situation.
In the spirit, I would see like a dome, like a blue dome over groups of Christians that were praying, or just through all those experiences, I connected that we could not attack Christians as they were actively praying protection from God. Like, there was a no-go zone. Just absolutely no power. So I love it now. Like yes, thank you, God. But back then, it made me very angry. It made the demons very angry. Actually travel in the spirit, astral projection.
So glad I'm on his side. This is exactly what's happening in our culture and in our world today. This is exactly what I started this whole channel about. I ran into this individual who was basically covering this type of content. And the crazy thing is, you don't have to believe what this little AI bot says. Really randomly ran into this stuff and felt it was necessary because this type of stuff is being pushed so far in our faces that it's a frightening thing. And if you don't start to see it and you don't understand what's happening, you're lost already. I mean, this is so in your face. This is God's opportunity speaking to us to see right here the parallels, all the things we need to see, all the truths right in our faces without denial. I took a lot of care in basically picking these clips out because, you know, there's a lot of propaganda and just made up things that people say. We've dealt with the Epstein files, all this stuff, all this occult practicing stuff is becoming a mainstream concept. We can get a whole country to riot over one single event. Those Epstein files were released and we found out that basically the people that are running our country, the world, and ancient type stuff. We've come to find out that a lot of those conspiracies that are dark, that I can't mention at the fear of becoming demonetized, is actually facts. And we're sitting steady, raising no upset about this. We are just going to take it. They confidently released that with the redactions out, knowing we as people would do nothing. As they commit and continue to commit the most heinous things that you could think of. We are like on a conveyor belt of events that's going on, and it's hitting rapid. Like it's a rapid fire, faster than I was even thinking it is. And I'm just concerned that people are completely in this state of hypnosis. And this is really dark, evil stuff. And they don't even have to hide it anymore. What's going on?